Welcome back inside Riverview Park Activity Center here in North Augusta, South Carolina. Continued action from the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Jimmy Cook Boestes. There's a slam for Jordan Mecca of the Georgia Stars. They lead it in pool play currently over the NC Flames, 40-24. As anytime you see a two-headed slam not in a layup line, you know that business is picked back up for second half action.
Yeah, continuing action didn't take long to continue, did it?
Nope. For the NC Flames, those of you just joining us, been a lot of threes taken from questionable areas of the court as another Slav and slam for Jordan Mecca. Well, the Stars somehow matched or elevated higher than their energy was in that first half to open things. And the Flames are a couple steps behind.
Well, and remember, they had a run to start the game. They're about to have a run to start the second half. It's already 4-0. We'll see how far it goes.
Here comes Stevens. He was crawling with the basketball, able to still maintain possession somehow, and now it's a 2-on-1. Forcing the issue there was Lawrence Thomas II, going right at the teeth of Jordan Mecca. He draws contact. He'll head to the line for 2 free ones.
Jordan Mecca didn't need to make that contact. He was up well above where he needed to be. He had the block shot. He just brought his arm down.
And usually on fouls like that is, on this end, a front end of a two-shot foul is made by Lawrence Thomas. Didn't see a lot of that on the other end of the court for the Flames. But as we say that, able to make both. And you mentioned it, Bo, on that drive. Sometimes, especially at this level, it is he did everything right, but then he brought the hands down. Or he did everything right, but he got him with the body. Top of the perimeter triple off the mark by Naheem Aline. Here comes the Flames. A big lead like this, especially with a shot clock involved, you don't need to get it all back in one possession. You can slowly chop away at it. They'll feed inside. Brentner Matumbo turns, off window, no, got his own board, hesitates, and just jumped and just kind of tossed it in, almost like holding a blanket, put it up on a shelf right there. Soft toss for Matumbo. In the lane, hanging and misfiring is Davis. Here comes the Stars, forcing the issue. Stevens leaves it, and a slam with authority. Brentner Matumbo. That is a high level of success shot right there.
Yeah, they're just taking dunks and layups, you know, and then on the other end, it's these long contested three-pointers for the Flames.
That one's a little bit more in the norm of three-point range, as an over the back's going to be called on the Flames. Bo, it is at its most extreme point, polar opposites of offensive shot selection.
It really
now,
is.
I know you got to work with what you have. Like, you know, I'm not saying that maybe the Flames roster is built to throw up alley-oop lobs and stuff, but even layups.
Well, I think that, you know, if you notice, if they get a little more dribble penetration, if they collapse that defense, they'll be able to drive and kick. And the drive and kick is where they'll have a little more success. Their last three-point effort here was a fine shot. He missed an uncontested three-point shot. If they get those looks, they're so much better off than a contested 25-footer with a hand in the face, fading. It's just a difficult shot to have much success with.
Absolutely. Aline hesitates, goes down the lane, layup, no, finger roll this time. But a loose ball, it's going to fall right to the Stars. Met right at the rim, did McNeil. Second and third chance. I hate to use it, but it might be a simple issue on the glass. This whole game for the Stars just want to get more.
Yeah, well, they just if the Flames can't keep up with the Stars on the glass, there's just no chance. You know, you start with a box out, and you're not seeing a lot of that, but then the athleticism and the size of the Stars takes over down low.
That putback was by Matumbo, and there's almost a pocket pick by the Stars.
Ooh.
Travel's going to be the call, and bodies to the deck hard as Mecca went up for that block and got tangled up. Hit the deck hard, but he's fine, as is Gregory Brockington for the Flames.
Yeah, he stuck the landing on that one because he was coming down from a high altitude.
Absolutely. He'll take a brief breather And they'll sub in Jaquavian Florence. See him for the second time today. Stevens to the rim, blew right by his defender and got it to go. The lead's back up to 14. Aggressive take to the rim there.
I like that better. Even if he had two people hanging on him, you're at the lane, you draw contact, and you're either going to get a layup attempt or you're going to get fouled, and now you got to convert.
Let's see if they will. Not that time for Justice Davis. He'll have one more upcoming sub at the table. Tenton Ostrander coming in for Robert Nastasi. Davis splits the pair. 13-point advantage for the Stars with the basketball. Under 12 to go. Stars looking to continue to hold on to this lead they developed. 50-27 the score. Corner, triple. Too strong, board for Mutombo. Mutombo going to work, feeling around for his defender, a lot of contact. He laid it up and in, they let him play on.
A lot happened on that post move, a lot.
A lot to unpack for sure on that post move. On a step back, banked it home.
That's a nice move. That was a nice move. A little lean into the defender to create that space. That's a shot you can work with.
Absolutely, and finding the window. Mutombo pushed in the back down low on this end.
And if you saw what Mutombo did there, it's a little bit of a tribute to a man that the San Antonio Spurs paid tribute to the other night. Manu Ginobili, now retired, brought that Euro step, or at least popularized it here in America, and you see so many people use that effectively now.
It's been an impressive aspect of the game to see. Few moves as revolutionary to this age of basketball like the Euro. On the other end, it's Davis, too much on it. Now here's Mutombo. He's got a 1-on-3, finds a man right at the rim. It's Odin. He misfired on the first one, but then got it back and put it in. 25-point advantage for the Stars. Left wing, a triple. Air over everything. They save it, though. Right to Hewitt. Too much, though. Board Bainham. There's a Euro again. That one credited to Jaquavian Florence.
It hadn't paid off on the scoreboard much yet, but I like the energy Tenton Ostrander's brought to the court for the North Carolina Flames. There he is on the floor as we speak.
Put his body on the line to dive for that loose ball. Bainham up ahead. Leaves to Stevens. Stevens kicks. Bainham three. No. Rebound Lawrence Thomas the second. McNeil wants it out front, around a screen. McNeil sees daylight, adjusts, hangs. He's fouled. Is it on the floor or is it in the act? They'll say in the act, so it'll send McNeil to the charity stripe. What if the Flames' game plan was to shoot distance triples, even if you're not making them, but just to shoot them to let the Stars defense know they're there, to then open up driving lanes? Because I realize that probably wasn't the plan, but that's kind of what's happened now, because finally Tyrese McNeil, as we have a time on the floor, we'll stay here. Tyrese McNeil, number 3 in black, was frequently taking volleyball threes or distance threes for the Flames, but on that one, he was being fully pressured by a Stars defense that's, I mean, I get it, you're up 26, but you could effectively dare him to go shoot it and make him go beat you. And instead he's like, you know what? They're pressuring me now. I'm going to blow by him, get to the rim.
If it was their strategy, I wish they would have switched gears a lot earlier. It would have been important to do that. But
Yeah.
I will tell you this, it's something I said earlier. Those threes, while they were effective and got them right back into the game earlier, it turns out they were fool's gold because they haven't been hitting them at the rate that they were early on. And you see so many of these threes. The good looks they have are when they drive and they kick, when they work it around, when they work off a high screen and roll. Those are fine threes. It's the ones when there's a hand in their face and they're fading, and these wonderful Georgia Stars defenders are rotating and getting pressure up on the shooter. Your percentage just drops precipitously, and it's tough to overcome that, especially, as this game's worn on, it's become readily apparent that the Georgia Stars just have a physical advantage. There's some really talented players out there on the court. You're talking Mecca, you're talking Mutombo. Some of those guys just tremendous. Aline, another really athletic kid with a lot of ability.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of the look for the Stars. Kids with a lot of athletic ability left and right down this roster.
And skill, too. I mean, it's an athletic ability that has been developed with skill because, with the exception of Mutombo, it seems like all these guys can dribble in transition, can handle the rock well enough at least. So, you give them credit on both counts, but, boy, the athleticism does jump out at you.
McNeil misfire on that free one. So the lead stands at 16. Valley in the lane. Not that time. Rebound Ostrander. Davis almost went over and back with it. Blows by his man. Teardrop floater up. 2 shots upcoming. We've kind of seen, I mean, I get it. He's flying through the air. There's some contact there, but we've seen over the last 2.5, 3 minutes of game time, the philosophy of the officiating change a bit. It was a lot, I felt like, more physical in that first half, kind of letting people play. That's a drive where you kind of daring the official to blow the whistle. There's not much choice there, but it feels like it's gotten a little more touchy.
Well, and that may be a smart move on the ref's part. We got a 26-point game here. You don't want it to get out of hand, not from a scoring standpoint, but you don't want the kids' emotions to get the best of them at this point.
Bainham gives to Xavier Valley from the mid-range. It's good. Pretty stroke there for the 6'7" forward.
That's that skill I'm talking about. These guys combine that ability with just wonderful skill. That was a smooth shot from the big guy.
You're exactly right. I mean, it's not just like you mentioned, Bo. It's not just that they can jump out of the gym, but that they can shoot it at a high percentage, too.
You have to have that now. You have to have that.
Off the inbounds. Ostrander feels. Couple post moves and scores.
He's got some footwork, doesn't he?
Yeah. He knows how to work in the low to mid post.
They list him at 6'6", so, if you're going to try to play a 4 in college and work in the post, that may be a bit small. Now, he could still grow some, but that may be a bit small. If he gets a little bigger, he's got something with that.
Absolutely. Aline. I think that McNeil blocking foul's called. McNeil on the drive. He went straight into the body of Stevens.
You know what's interesting to me about McNeil is McNeil, when he's out at the volleyball line, is shooting a set shot. But he's got a nice-looking jump shot when he gets to the mid-range. He gets good elevation on that shot, and at 6'4", he's in a really good position to take shots against bigger defenders. So I wonder if he could develop that sort of a jump shot out farther.
Interesting point. It'd be something that would definitely be an asset to find tool would add another tool. Anytime you're going to be able to add another weapon to your game, that's what you're going to end up with it. As we have another foul in the act as Brockington was fouled on his way up. He'll have 2 shots upcoming. First one up, first one in.
Nice looking stroke from Brockington. That's another kid with really good form. So when you see him shoot it, you expect him to make it. And we haven't seen everybody make their free throws out here. Again, it's a 23-point game with 7:51 remaining. So perhaps the outcome isn't as in doubt as you'd hope, but still doing the right things out there. And, you build from that.
That's all you can really ask for, especially in pool play action. Still have games ahead for both these teams. Anytime you have a contest, whether you're on the right or wrong end in these type of events, as long as it's not your last event, as long as it's not your last game of the event, there's still time to make an impact while you're here. We know that. We'll be here all throughout the rest of today and into tomorrow for the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational. We'll recap things off in the late afternoon tomorrow. Under 8 to play in this pool play game, though. A commanding 23-point advantage for the Georgia Stars. And the other good thing here, Bo, at least if you're the Flames, and I'm not sure if this is going to be the immediate takeaway or if it would have been that much closer of a game, but if you fine-tune your shot selection, like you said a little earlier, this maybe is a more manageable mountain to climb. Mid-range, rattled in by Xavier Valley. He's hit a couple of those from that same spot. Likes the mid-range and a pretty stroke there to bump the lead back to 25.
Yeah, just slide out from the low post and catch that pass from the driver, and he's hit that a couple times. If he's got that with consistency, you talk about building blocks. That's something you can build with.
Absolutely. Brockington, pressured by Florence, leaves in the corner for Davis. Back to Brockington. He's the volleyball line. Every jab step by these Flames makes you think they're going to pull a trigger. Put a shot up. That time they will. As the shot clock was expiring, the rebound tracked down by Brockington. He fakes a pass, takes one power dribble. Too much muster on that one. Off the fingertips of Hewitt. Send it back to the Stars.
Brockington did a good job setting that up. He saw the opportunity. He was just a little overambitious with the speed on that pass.
A lean to the rim. A lot of body contact, and they say play on. He got the shot to go. Lead is 27. Look-ahead pass. Ostrander in the post again. Bo, you kept talking about it. He's got one of the most marquee bright spots for the Flames.
Yeah, his footwork is tremendous down there. He can go up with his left hand over his right shoulder. Tried to draw a charge there. That wasn't
thought about it, but Florence kind of with the finesse and air to get away from that. But you're right, definitely pieces to work with there for Ostrander. They try to feed it inside to him again. He's been the hot hand. He'll tee it up from the top of the key and hit it.
He is a bright spot.
Man.
He really is.
Tell you what, 25-point deficit or not, the young man is looking solid on all cylinders. Contested shot there for Davis, fouled by Valley. He'll go to the line for two. Man.
I like Ostrander's game. I like McNeil's game as well. And I think, this is one of those, again, the outcomes sort of not as in doubt as they would hope. But McNeil has shown some stuff, especially, obviously we saw the long-distance shots. But with his ability to get off shots at the mid-range with bigger defenders on him, the ability to take contact on a driving layup and make a shot earlier, I think McNeil has shown me a lot too.
For sure. Botts checks into the ball game for the Flames. Both free throws made there by Davis. Stars with a 23-point lead in the ball. Bainham. Try a little give and go action. Instead, Ostrander's the first one to the ball. Here come the Flames. Davis calling for it. Instead, a tough triple launch there by Davis. But he followed his shot. Or got a second chance opportunity, I should say, and put it in.
Yeah, that was a great touch pass from Davis over to Ostrander for the put-in because he knew he missed that shot right away. Followed it up and delivered a good assist.
One of the other things that you're seeing out of the Flames right now is there's a lot more boxing out. I don't know if it's the Stars are kind of content with where they're at right now or if it's just truly physicality being picked back up. Off the Flames again, unable to corral a rebound in 2 consecutive shots.
Stars now working it around the perimeter. Setting it up for a mid-range look, and again, it's Ostrander with a rebound. We go the other way, and McNeil on the push, draws the contact, gets the shot, no foul called. But again, that's that ability that we talked about earlier. It's not just his three-point shooting. He can drive the basketball, and he can finish through contact.
Absolutely. There's a lob and a slam. Aline to Mutombo. He throws it down with two hands.
Just when they cut it inside of 20, get it down to 19, Georgia Stars come back with a hammer.
It's like the spidey sense. Once that lead falls back down, oh, no, we got to turn back on the oops. We can still do it.
Some sort of internal alarm went off.
Davis for three. It's good. It's a Davis from beyond the arc.
And did you see how Ostrander sealed the defender off and just pitched it to him, creating that open look? Little tiny things like that, but it's a smart feel for the game.
And like you mentioned, the Flames, again, it's hard to tell with the game flow, but the best way to say it is there's pieces there. There's not just with Ostrander, with the whole team, but
and they're going to make this result look a little more respectable than it was for a while. They got up around 28 points. We're down to 18 now, so it looks a little better.
Running clock is in effect. Anytime I believe it's over, once it crosses over 20 with 4 minutes to go, it's running clock, and it doesn't get back down there until it's cut to 10. So we'll see if the Flames are able to do that. Another missed shot. There's windows here.
A lot of dribbling.
Yep. There's an air ball. Shot clock won't reset.
That's a look.
There's a triple, another air ball. Rebound tracked down and taken by Florence for the Georgia Stars. They toss ahead and travel out front.
For the third time this game, Aline's been called on that travel when he catches the ball and hasn't yet made a dribble yet. So that it's either something that this ref doesn't like, or this is something that Aline more likely has to work on.
Yeah. More than likely the latter, but any coach, and I'm sure the Stars coach will tell you, there's always ways to improve, even if you are comfortable in a
18.
Yep. Even if you're comfortable with an 18-point advantage. 2:20 to go, running clock in effect. Stars with that basketball. Jimmy Cook, Bo SD. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Saturday with us here for the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational, 17th annual running of the event. Here on Always Live is a nice take and scoop layup there for Mikhail Stevens.
Yeah, that was really nice. Able to seal the defender, go up with his right hand.
There's another rebound. That time sealing an offensive player was Bretner Mutombo. Sky high for that board. Florence, extra pass, corner, Valley. Too much on it.
So he made a couple inside that three-point line. That was stretching it out a bit, and it didn't look bad, to be fair.
Step back three left short. No, it didn't. It had a good chance. I'm thinking an oop. Nope, never mind. All the way to the rim. Instead, taking it is Florence. I say they're thinking about an oop because Stevens kind of pointing up.
He wanted it in the sky.
But
boy, the Stars just have waves of guys they can send at you.
Stars do save it. You might have heard on the audio. It leads to a two-handed slam.
Moment of concern there.
Just a tad. You were ready. I was a bit deer in headlights-y.
Stars working the ball now, less than a minute to go in the game. It's a 24-point advantage for the Georgia Stars as the clock winds down here on another game at the Icebreaker Invitational.
Yep, just pool play. But the Stars definitely enjoying those waters more than some. As a foul on the floor against Tenton Ostrander, it'll be the 5th on the Flame, and as the ball rolls all the way into the backcourt with running clock in effect as the lead is now, like you mentioned, Bo, up to 24. This might be the they do have to inbound it with a 5-second count still at play, but that's pretty much all they have to do. They'll just to Valley. Players say hold it, rightfully show. Buzzer sounds, and that will do it. 72-48. The final in this one impressive performance from start to finish for the Stars, and we're going to have a sideline conversation with a player from the Georgia Stars. As again, the final in this one, 72-48 in favor of the Georgia Stars, improving in their pool play ranks. And Fiona is getting ready to stand by as she has her player of the game. It'll be Naheem Aline. Put on quite a show. Let's send it over to Fiona. Again, our final in pool play action on day 2. It's the Georgia Stars 72, NC Flames 48. Stay with us. We'll have more after this. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back to the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational from beautiful Riverview Park Activity Center. Jimmy Cook alongside Bo Estes for continued coverage of pool play action here at the Icebreaker Invitational. We have a matchup between the Atlanta Playmakers in the white and orange jerseys and the Juice All-Star Stevenson in your navy jerseys. And both this early contest, anything like the last one, more dunks will follow, perhaps more triples as well. That's hit by Saquon Harris for the first blood struck for the Juice All-Stars.
Everybody can shoot threes now, Jimmy. Everybody can shoot threes.
Looks like an inadvertent whistle. Shot clock never reset, so they'll keep it on their own end. That's what it seems like. Position through position.
Harris is a 6'6" guy out there, and just no hesitation at all. Just pulled right up, and it's a good-looking shot.
Scales tried to feed it inside, kicked off the foot of Mantray. They'll head back to the Juice All-Stars. Ford to Thompson. Thompson inside. Now there's Harris. Harris will reset things. Ford in between the circles. They feed in the middle of the zone. Layup at the rim. Contested by the Playmakers. Shot clock never reset. 2 to shoot. Gotta get a shot off. Little pump fake. Just got it off in time. Did Christopher Nobles.
Just like they drew that one up, Jimmy.
Yep. Just like they run it in practice. Oh, man.
Look at Caleb Murphy with the handle there, setting up the offense.
Man, that's pretty.
And that's a three you like to see. You work it inside, you work it outside, you stretch the defense, and that works.
That's a triple, and we'll take a timeout with the Playmakers. 5-3 the score early. You're watching 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back inside Riverview Park Activity Center. It's about 2.5 minutes in to the early stages of this first half of pool play action. Juice All-Stars with the basketball and a 2-point lead. Impressive take in the lane there by Christopher Nobles. He's got 4 of the 7 for the All-Stars, and the lead is 4. Scales down the lane, too strong. Here comes the All-Stars. Fasay. Too much. There's Thompson. Thompson tried to go off glass. Putback is true. A.J. Thompson for 2. Lead up to 6. A track meet on the other end. Sent back by Kane. It'll stay on this end. No subs at the table. Scales will inbound. Noah gives a little catch and shoot action to Davis. Misfired. Now the Stars. Foul on the floor against Caleb Murphy, his first. First on the team. Nobles hesitates. Puts his head down. Tried to knife through the lane. Adjusts. Misfired. Second chance. No. It's cleared by the Playmakers. Here's Thompson, all the way to the rim. Got it to go. Make that Murphy, I should say. Murphy with the layup. Back down to 4. Harris They're playing hot potato with it as Harrison Ford. Back to Harris, 3 in the air with some contact, and he'll shoot 3 as a hard close there by Miles Davis, they'll say. Leads to some free throws. Again, for those of you just joining us, pool play action here at the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational. Really the first event for travel teams across the country. And as always, with any AlwaysLive event, shoe brand affiliation does not matter. Doesn't matter if you're with Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Independent, something in between. You're welcome on these events. As we see in this particular matchup, 2 Adidas teams going after it. Stevenson misfired on the first 2 free throws of this 3-point foul. One more for Harris. Missed all 3. Empty trip there for the Juice All-Star. Let's see if the Playmakers can make them pay for it. Skip pass to Murphy. Regains it, kicks, corner, Davis, good. Triple in the corner for Miles Davis. Back within 1. Pretty shot from beyond the arc. And a pretty floater there for Christopher Nobles. He's got 6, lead is 3. On the other end, there's another bucket for Miles Davis. He might get teed up. They're going to have a conversation. The refs were trying to bring both Davis and Harris together as there was words exchanged. Coaching staff of the Playmakers not happy. Conference never happened as Davis walked away from the situation. We'll play on. Nobles kicks, Thompson, 3, short. Board cleared though by the All-Stars in a trap and a foul committed. As Harris was in a world of trouble. Sub of the table. Makai Towns checks into the ball game. The Juice All-Stars shouting out directions from their bench to the team as they'll inbound baseline left. Ford gets it in a lob, just a tad off though, but it falls right to Thompson. Thompson goes baseline, leaves it. Ford, 3, good. What a find by Thompson and a heady play by Ford to get back involved in the play after inbounding it. Extends the lead back to 4. Scales trying to force the issue, goes right at the rim and he's fouled. As the officials having a conversation with the Juice All-Stars team because looks like there's emotions on display from the All-Star players as well as the Playmakers. The officials trying to restore order a tad as first free throw good for Scales. He'll have 1 more. Scales misfires on the second. Ford around a screen from Towns. Now Nobles. Nobles feeds to Towns. The big fella going to work. 1 pump fake. Lets the defender come around him. Couldn't get it to fall. Got his own board. Jump ball tie up is the call. Arrow favors the Playmakers. London Isam checks in for the Playmakers. A lot of contact. Davis, wild triple off the mark. Here comes Thompson. Thompson hesitates in the lane, falling away, could not turn it home. And on the other end, a nice slam and finish from Caleb Murphy. They're back within one. Crossover at the top. Thompson, give and go. Too strong, but the finish is true by Kane. Kerry Kane with the follow slam leads back to 3. Wild layup by Lewis. Board cleared by Kane. Chase Ford wants to push. Ford inside. The big fella. Towns. Reverse is good. Makai Towns showing the precision on the reverse. Juice trying to jump the passing lane. And out of bounds. They force a turnover with the pressure. So speeding up the Playmakers a tad. Have the Juice All-Stars, and it leads to that turnover. Alexis Fassé checks into the ball game for Juice All-Stars during that stoppage. He controls far right side. They feed the big fella of Towns. Towns goes to work again. He's really using his size down there to get 2. 4 straight points for him. Largest lead of the ball game for the Juice at 7. Another missed triple. The All-Stars once again. Fassé in transition. Tip, no. Nobles, power dribble, fouled. 2 shots upcoming for him. Aggressive energy left and right by the Juice All-Stars as they continue to crash the glass right when the shot goes up. Led to a lot of second chance opportunities, and this time it'll be Nobles with some free ones. First one off the mark, one more coming for him. The 6'7" forward in the 2020 class. His team leads by 7. That one's good. Making an 8-point advantage. 9 minutes left to play in this first half. Atlanta Playmakers trying to chop into this 8-point advantage that the Juice All-Stars have established. Lewis, look away pass inside to Afri. He could not get it to go. And then a lob on the other end would not go for the Playmakers. Some shoulder swings there for Caleb Murphy. He was trying to rip away that board. They call the foul on the Juice All-Stars, though, and simply tell him to play on. Murphy gives Lewis 3. Good. There's Lewis, and word still being exchanged between these two teams when buckets fall. Lewis and Kane are getting after one another. There's a triple. It's misfired. Rebound controlled by the Playmakers. Something to keep an eye on. Morris saves it. They give Lewis again. That one too strong. Board for Kane. He gives it to the big fella, and Towns is going to bring it up the floor. Towns not shying away from it right now. Towns showing off the handles. There's Towns with a crossover. The big fella showing his stuff over to Harris. Now they feed him inside. Towns turning. Towns sees contact. No, we say he stepped on the end line, walking the tightrope. Out of bounds. Back to the Juice. Man, tell you what, say what you will, but the big fella, as he checks out, Makai Towns had a nice crossover there on the left wing. Might have been one of the better crosses we've seen today. All for naught, though, as he stepped on the end line, so the Playmakers trying to cut into this 5-point advantage held by the Juice All-Stars. Blocking foul called on Chase Ford. Just the 3rd on the team. Lewis thought about a deep triple. Instead to Murphy. Murphy hesitates, kicks, over to Morris. Morris back to Murphy, now Lewis. Izom, 3, no. Trying to chase down his own board. Leads to a turnover, though. Lewis, elbow. Not that time. Same team board. It's corralled by Ford and Stevens. Stevens gives to Ford. He'll bring it up. Just over 7 minutes to go in the half. Ford to the rim. Out on the floor, they'll say, before the shot. Drive by the All-Stars right at the rim. On the take was Fasse, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Fasse too strong on the first. He'll have one more. For whatever reason, we've seen a lot of struggles at the foul line on that end of the gym. Splitting the pair there is Fasse. So the lead is 6. Been as high as 7. Over and back. Murphy lost the basketball, hit the deck, and made contact with the ball as it was over the midline at half court. Fasse gives to Stevens. Stevens hesitates slightly. Now Ford. Ford jabs and pulls. That triple's just a bit too deep. Outlet to Scales. Scales now Murphy. Murphy down the lane. Puts it up, puts it in. What an adjustment in midair by Caleb Murphy. Ford down the other end. Leaves it right for Harris, who scoops and scores. Lead back to 6. And officials say my time. Call a timeout for some subs. Jalen Banks checks in for the first time today for the Juice. And Braylon Mantray checks back in for the Playmakers. Good ball movement. Lewis a pump fake. They give to Scales. Scales to Murphy. Murphy puts his head down. Skips it. It was tipped. Shot clock violation. It led to a triple, but after the shot clock. So the advantage remains 6 with just over 5.5 left in this first half of play. Fasse puts his head down, now gives to Kane. Kane to Nobles. Fasse to the rim, left it right for Kane. It was a beautiful play, but the body contact on the floor was there first. The basket will not count, but good execution. Maybe something to save and keep an eye on for later. So, of note, Caleb Murphy, he was looking at his teammate, Quez Lewis, but they were having a conversation while the ref was communicating with him. Wasn't acknowledging the ref. And then coaching staff wisely makes a pull just to get him a cool down for a second. As the last thing anybody wants is for this ball game to get chippy. Already seen trash talk banner as free throws hit there for the Juice All-Stars. Already seen trash talking banter when shots have been made by both teams. Scales to Davis, and he's fouled hard by Ford. Just the 4th team foul on the All-Stars. Davis inbounds in the backcourt to Scales. Davis and Scales play catch. Lewis controls. Scales at the top. Now Davis to the rim. Got it off the window and in. They're back within 5 with under 5 to go in the half. Fassé, nice Euro hop step. He answers right back. Lewis playing catch with Davis up front. Davis extra pass, Scales 3. Took a couple kicks, then hit the top of the backboard, out of bounds. The Juice All-Stars. Ford might have carried it or traveled. Then we got the official designation from the refs. Whatever the call was, they're giving possession back to the All-Stars. I don't know if it was a my time again for some subs or what the case was there. Thompson. Now Nobles to the rim. A lot of contact forces the issue, and he'll head to the line. First free throw off. Again, we want to welcome you, those of you joining us and sticking with us this afternoon on Always Live with our continued coverage of the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational. The first premier event for travel teams across the country as they transition from the end of their high school seasons to the start of travel play in their basketball lives. Watch the action unfold here courtside at court number 1. Turnover. Here comes the All-Stars. Up ahead, Nobles to the rim, misfired from point blank, and they'll say last touched by the Juice All-Stars. So it'll go to the Playmakers, 3:47 to play in the half. They're down by 8. It feels a lot closer than that. Perhaps it is with the way the offense can work for the Playmakers. There's a triple left side, off the mark by Davis. Rebound fought for, last off of Stevenson, who the All-Stars saved it right into the hands of Cannon McGee, who lays it up and in to make it a 6-point game. Looked like the Juice All-Stars thought they had more men on that side of the backcourt. Instead, it leads to that turnover right underneath the hoop for the bucket. Nobles in trouble, gives it Fassé, kicks to Banks. Banks puts his head down, up and under move. Thompson to the top, leaves it. Nobles, one power dribble, lost it on the way up. Towns tracks down the loose ball. Towns, fall away, triple, he hit it, oh my! Makai Towns showing off the handles and a Dirk-esque 3 with the foot kick in the right corner, extends his lead to 9. On the other end, blocking foul is called on the All-Stars. Man, can we get another look at that triple? Or we? I have to take a look at the post-game highlights, but what a sharp play by Makai Towns. I'll tell you something. The big fella was dominating the post early, number 36 in Navy on your screen. And then all of a sudden he decides to bring it up in one play, had a nice crossover, and then forced to toss a shot up there, hope for the best, and pick the foot up, hit the triple. Never know what you're going to see on a travel basketball circuit on any given day. That once again living true at this point in time. Both free throws knocked in there for Davis. Brings the lead down to 7. Just over 2.5 to go in this first half. Ford gives to Nobles. He works the handles. Now to Harris. The big fella calling for it. Harris wants to feed him. Battle of Morris and Towns down there. Towns still wants it. Ford trying to go around the defense. He does right at the rim. It's swatted from behind. Here come the playmakers. Scales up ahead. Murphy down the lane. Wild shot. He forces contact as he drove right into the back of Fassay. He'll shoot 2 free ones. Murphy, first free throw up and in. Nice stroke. Good solid form there from Murphy at the line. And every point is, like we said, this game feels closer than it is. We looked at the scoreboard. It was 9 a couple minutes ago. It's now all the way down to 5. 2 minutes even to play in the half. Nobles works the crossover. Now to Harris. In trouble. Ford. Harris puts his head down, goes to the rim, lays it up and in with the finger roll. What a pretty finish. See if there's an answer by the playmakers. Murphy, extra pass. Mantrade, 3, it's an air ball. Rebound All-Stars. Ford, up ahead. He'll kick to Scales. Scales in trouble. Has to give it up over to Kane. 17 to shoot. Ford matched up on Murphy. Has him on his hip, puts it up there, too strong. Loose ball. Rebound corralled, taken by Murphy. 1 minute to go in the half. Caleb stops on a dime, dishes it inside instead. Right over to Donovan Morris, who will head to the charity stripe for 2 free ones. First one up, first one in. About 25 seconds separating game and shot clock right now. Both are made, the lead is 7. Nobles, he'll try a triple. Left it short. The rebound, though, by Towns. He's been making all those little plays so far today. In a trap right now, though, is the big fella, and he's going to skip it high over to Ford. All-Stars want a timeout. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. I don't know. It's just fun. I don't know if it's because he's the big fella that you think would be dominating down low, but Mekhi Towns in this first half, he has chucked a pinpoint pass just there on the baseline all the way to the high right with accurate precision. He worked the post. He brought it up himself one possession, had a very filthy crossover on a defender. And then more recently, a fall-away triple in the corner as the shot clock expired, kicking the foot up Dirk style and knocking it down. Those are the kind of things you can afford to try when you are up by 5. All-Stars, 11-second differential between shot and game clock, 34.8 to go in the half, 23 on the shot clock. See what they run out of the timeout. Ford in isolation on Murphy. Waits for Harris. Harris triple. Left it short. Shot clock turned off. Board secured by Mantrey. In the corner. Davis all alone. Left it off. Rebound, though, fought for. They get a second chance at it. They force it inside. It's stolen away by Kane. Kane leaves it for Nobles. Laid it up and in. Final seconds of the half, and the playmakers are not going to get a shot off. That full court heave will not count. Buzzer sounds to end first half of play. Juice All-Stars. It felt like it's closer than the scoreboard reads, but it's at a 7-point advantage for them at the halftime break. 35-28 over the Atlanta Playmakers. Stay with us while the second half after this. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back inside Riverview Park Activity Center. Jimmy Cook alongside Bo SD. Start of the second half about to get underway. Team Playmakers with the basketball and a 7-point deficit, staring them square in the face. See how they respond out of that short break. Caleb Murphy gives over to Noah Scales. Murphy and Scales playing a little bit of catch out top. And now Davis joins the game. Back to Murphy. Lewis wanted his fair share of the keep away. 7 on the shot clock. Murphy tees up a triple. Good. Pure stroke from out there.
A lot of perimeter passing on that possession, and it didn't look like it was going to work out, and he tossed that thing up a really nice looking stroke.
Yep. really confident on an otherwise possession that made you think it's not going to be a good possession at all. Board cleared there by Lewis. Up to Murphy. Caleb maybe started going to takeover mode. Extra pass. Nope. Instead, they'll keep it, force it inside. Murphy playing hot potato with it. Davis to Lewis. Top of the perimeter. It's good. Well, I tell you what, nothing like a 3-minute break to inject some offense into your blood.
And they dumped that one inside, and it worked the defense a little bit. And those quick passes, like you said, hot potato around the perimeter, got them an open shot.
6-0 run to open the half here in the first minute and 10. Leads down to 1. Juice All-Stars searching for an answer. Kane in trouble. Risky pass. Last touched by McGee. I think that Davis, I should say. It'll stay on this end. Bo, the first half at times was chippy. A lot of talk between opposing players whenever shots were made. A lot of officials trying to right wrongs. A lot of coaches appearing indifferent about wrongs trying to be righted. We thought it was going to be a shot clock violation there on the missed shot. Instead, Murphy will run. Murphy to Davis, 3. Make it 3 in a row for the Atlanta Playmakers. That's called team fire. We're playing NBA Jam. It's a 2-point advantage all of a sudden for the Playmakers. 9-0 run. Harris the answer. No, in and out. What a turn of events. This is a different Playmakers team.
And again, they're working it out on the perimeter, Jimmy, and let's see if they go inside or if this is the ambition.
We'll try another outside shot, and in hindsight, had Davis maybe followed that shot instead of holding up the triple, they might have gotten a second chance at it. Either way, good look. It just didn't connect. One man back. It's Lewis. They can't find him, and the defense closes. Murphy to Davis. Lewis pump fakes. Lewis drives. Lewis leaves it in the lane and scored by Justin Affey.
And Atlanta's pulling them out and pulling them out and pulling them out, and they're going to find, like you mentioned in the last game, they're going to have some opportunities down low by doing that.
This is an 11-0 run in 2.5 minutes by the Atlanta Playmakers. Let's see if Deuce All-Stars can respond. In the lane, Thompson scores. That's a tough finish.
That's their best shot of the first half. Get good shots and you'll get good results, and they work to get that shot.
Murphy skips. They're still working around the perimeter, circling the wagons left and right. Scales. Feeds Murphy to the rim. Met at the doorstep by Kane, and it's rejected out of bounds off of Murphy. Send it back the other way. Kerry Kane standing tall.
That's no easy task on Caleb Murphy also. Caleb Murphy, I had a chance to talk to a rival coach of his high school team. He plays for Norcross High School, one of the big schools in the nation, and he just said he's got all the athletic ability in the world, does Murphy.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some of it in that first half, and starting to see the stroke he can put on it as well with an inside-out game. Left side got wedged.
Wow.
A wedgie is your
yeah, the
NBA
starters.
Folks.
Yeah, my friends, the starters. That is an official wedgie. I didn't think we'd have that.
Yep. Oh, it's funny. I feel like the last game, somewhere in that stretch last year in Atlanta, we got that as well. Wherever NBA TV is flocking, there's bound to be at least one in a stretch of a sample of 10 games.
It follows us or we follow it.
Exactly. Timeout on the floor, 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. 12:39 to go in this ball game as the Atlanta Playmakers lead the Juice All-Stars 39-37. It was 35-28 at half. So you're keeping score at home. An 11-2 run extended by the Playmakers to have a commanding grasp of this game right now, early going second half.
And, you know, we talked about them passing around on the perimeter, the Atlanta Playmakers. And the thing that they are doing, they're not dribbling standing out on the perimeter. They're moving the ball and making the defense work with them. You know, more often than not, it's perimeter passing, but they do work it inside occasionally. So it is good to see the ball movement.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with seeing fluid passing, especially when it leads to good open shots. Thompson on the crossover, kind of froze the defender of Murphy. Had it stripped, got it back somehow. Wanted to leave it for Towns instead of just in midair. And it falls right to Towns. Let's see if he decides to do anything special with it. No, he'll just simply hand it off. Fassé feeds inside. It's a turnover. Falls right in the breadbasket of Thompson to Towns. Missed it. Third chance. No. Rebound falls to Towns. Towns going to take a power dribble, lay it up and in. The big fella.
I tell you what, they had 3 or 4 either offensive rebounds or turnovers. They just seemed to want the ball more on that possession.
Pretty wild considering how aggressive the Playmakers were to start this half. Murphy contested, triple, late close, and he made him pay for it.
It's a set shot, but he can get it off quickly, and it's a high release. It looks really, really nice. He's 6'2" as well, so he's not a small guard.
Towns thought about the
Speaking of not small.
He thought about the 14-footer again, but this time he thought better of it. And a technical foul has been called on A.J. Thompson. I'll tell you what, it was only a matter of time before a tee was dished out on one of these teams. And this time the technical foul, the guilty party is A.J. Thompson. Now, the officials have kind of been frustrated with the communication by both teams. And this time the guilty party is Thompson. So Caleb Murphy will head to the charity stripe. The technical free throws.
Yeah, it's a nice stroke.
Yep.
He really does have a nice shot. So Murphy, I mentioned he played at Norcross High School. The starting point guard last year is a kid by the name of Kyle Sturdivant, who signed with USC. And the superstar, it's not Murphy, believe it or not, is a kid named B.J. Boston, who's one of the top 5 players in the country in his class. So he plays with a group of really, really talented players over there.
Always good, especially at that young age, to have leadership of upperclassmen at your high school level that can guide you and transform your game to another level if you're willing to listen and take on that experience as an underclassman. Murphy to Scales, forced it inside. Towns with a bear claw to deflect that one. Here comes Fasay. He lost the handle, got it back, puts his head down to the rim, wild shot, rebound cleared there by Affey. On the other end, was that rejected? It was. Kane met him at the rim again for Murphy.
Murphy wanted a foul on that one. He didn't get it. He immediately, even as he was descending, he was looking for the whistle.
Yep, I think we all were, as Banks tried to push it for the Stars, but he stepped on the sideline out of bounds. Back to the Playmakers. Left side triple is good. Miles Davis. My, oh my, they're starting to feel it from beyond the arc.
7-point deficit at the half, 8-point lead now, a 15-point turnaround this quickly into the second half. And growing perhaps.
Pretty phenomenal. A 19-4 extended run to open the half. Extra pass, same spot. Not the same result, though, that time for Davis. Rebound cleared by Fasay.
Better closeout on that one, Jimmy.
That can make all the difference.
Sure.
Especially on the defensive end. Towns had his shot sent back by Justin Affey, but they'll say he made contact.
I heard you mention in Towns earlier that it's not just as it appears. There's a lot of skill there, too.
It's really interesting. He brought it up, and you thought he's going to be like any big fellow where you're crossing the timeline, you're just trying to get it to a guard. Didn't happen. They did a crossover, and I mean, there's stuff there. There's a solid level of talent all around for Towns based in a player that you're primarily going to see down low.
Well, I liked his seal-off down there. I liked his ability to, just connect and basket awareness, too. And it's a nice-looking stroke at the free throw line.
Have to agree on that, as he'll have one more upcoming. Left that one short. Murphy controls the board. Atlanta with a 7-point advantage. Playing hot potato with it. Murphy trying to get by his defender and create separation. Instead, he'll kick it. Extra pass, left side. Gale's in trouble. It was tipped, they'll say, not over and back. Nope, now they say it was not tipped. Officials, the far side official, had a late whistle there and says it wasn't tipped. It'll be a turnover.
The Juice lobbying firm behind us, may have impacted that result.
Could have been. Could have been. Though when that call was changed, you flipped with the representation from from Atlanta Playmakers. They made themselves known. As you'll find with any respective branch of AAU support or fandom, as second time today on each baseline respectively, the Towns have stepped on that baseline out of bounds. So up the floor comes Caleb Murphy. A 7-point lead in hand on the back of a 19-5 extended run to open the half. Sent back again, return to sender, says Kerry Kane.
What a wonderful awareness to swing over like that. That's when you're the driver. You're looking for the next kick because if Kane's coming, he's going to get it.
And you could debate as a caught him napping, nice feed inside to Mantre. You could debate that one of them was a goaltend, but he's had 3 impressive out-of-nowhere blocks today.
Yeah, at some level, tending the goal that high is impressive.
Another turnover by the Juice All-Stars, and tell you what, with the wait and let it play out, but this is a 21-5 run by the Playmakers since the start of the half. So we're going on about a little under 11 minutes, and the Juice All-Stars have yet to find their gear to try to cut back into it. That triple is misfired there for Morris. Let's see if the All-Stars try to do it this time.
I know that Juice was playing on a quick turnaround. They had a game earlier, and they had to race over here. So it is not tremendously surprising that the second half has started off this way, but you would like to see them turn around. A lot of physical play out there.
A lot of physical play. Kind of was the story of the first half, went away for a little bit, and perhaps creaking its ugly head back in. Kane down the lane, left it short, saved it. That gets to Murphy. Murphy pump fakes. Murphy hesitates. They swing it around to Davis. Back over to Scales. Now Murphy. 15 to shoot. He'll leave it for Davis. Davis gets back to Murphy. Thought about stepping into a triple, instead drive. Scoop layup up and in. Nice scoop and score mode there for Caleb Murphy.
The last time he didn't take the shot, Kane was on his way, but this time he sort of held Kane off by looking off him to the three-point line.
Talon just cleared out. Talon just cleared out a 6'5" guard and said, I want to take this, and he feeds it inside to Kane, who puts it up and one. I don't know that I've seen a player at this level with Talon's size, get the ball at the top, have the probably quicker guard, I don't know, I'm just assuming, probably quicker guard come up and call for the ball and then be called off.
Waving him away, yeah. Like Kobe waved away Karl Malone's screen in the All-Star game years ago.
Exactly like that. Oh, man. Could not convert the layup, or excuse me, the free throw, I should say, was Kane, and the second effort off the mark by Fassé, but he did enough to force the Playmakers to think about where they were going with the basketball, and enough so that the turnover's committed.
That's the second time I've seen Murphy sort of slip on the court out there.
Yep, perhaps some moisture out there, and now Towns, the big fella. Tried to go baseline. Towns brings it back out, and again he calls off a guard. Towns want to go ISO. Towns working the handles. Towns pulls up. That one's wide to the right. Up ahead, a dunk with epic proportions was set up but misfired. And Mantre will head to the charity stripe for 2 free ones.
I appreciate that from Towns, too.
Oh, yeah.
He missed a shot. He was D'd up really well on one end and went down there. It was a tough foul, but he went right over and made sure everybody was okay after that.
And in all honesty, that is the first. Again, you're in a game mentality. You're flowing. This is probably game 4 of the weekend so far for a lot of these teams. But that's the first real opportunity where a respective teammate or respective opposition have helped a player up. Most of it's been chippiness. So for Towns to have the mentality, like you said, to go over there, make sure everybody's okay.
No,
top shelf play. Advantage is 11 for the Atlanta Playmakers, as the Juice All-Stars still searching for answers. They were up comfortably by 7 at halftime, and that's all gone up in smoke. A 25-7 scoring run for the All-Stars, for the Playmakers against the All-Stars in this second half. Stevens to the rim. Blocking foul is the call.
That was a really tough fall, Jimmy.
Thankfully, everybody's okay. But you're right. High up in a tough fall there for Justin Stevens, as well as Donovan Morris, who attempted to take the charge there. Instead, it's a block and 2 free ones upcoming for Stevens. Rattles in the first one.
This game's still very much in doubt. It's a 10-point game right now. So, you see Stevens composing himself. He really took a tough spill. It looks like they're going to roll him out now.
As Bo alluded to, the Playmakers making a change there, as both Morris and Stevens respectively took some contact. It looks like that Stevens, as Bo also mentioned, might be soon to come out as well. They sub him out and they sub Morris out just before that second free throw. But able to calmly hit both with Stevens. He's going to get looked at by his coaching staff. Leads down to 9 though. 7:15 to play in pool play action here at Riverview Park Activity Center. Scales. Now Murphy, been the star of this ball game for the Playmakers. 6 to shoot. I don't know if Murphy knows it. 4 to shoot. Murphy skips in the corner. Catch and shoot opportunity. Air ball. Rebound taken by the Juice All-Stars, and Kane heard the buzzer and stopped everything. Refs say play on. Triple misfired. Kane tried to get the rebound. Said it's captured right in front of us, and they'll get it wisely to Murphy to reset things. Murphy, quick pass ahead. They move it around with such precision. You blink twice, you're going to miss where the ball went. Right side triple by Scales is off the mark.
And again, that movement gets them better looks than they would if they were just dribbling. Speaking of a better look.
Scales, too much on it. Rebound was volleyball spiked away by the Playmakers, and they corral it. And the Playmakers want a timeout. We'll take one as well. 6:09 left to go in this one. Atlanta Playmakers 53. Juice All-Stars 44. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back to the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational. 6:09 left to go in this pool play contest between the Atlanta Playmakers with the basketball and the Juice All-Stars. Playmakers holding that 9-point advantage. They might have an opportunity to extend it as Kayla Murphy was fouled in the act of shooting by Jace Ford, and it'll lead to 3 free ones.
So his first 2 threes of the second half were set shots. He does a crossover there, goes left, rises up, and shoots a 3. So it's a jump shot. So I guess he's just got a lot of tricks in his arsenal.
Appropriate for the area. He's got a lot of clubs in his bag to go to.
Well, yeah, right down the road. So, the scouting report I heard on him was that his shooting was a weakness. I haven't seen that so far. Maybe it's a skill he's been working on.
Could be. When you're that young, you're still trying to improve your game as much as you can. A lot of raw talent on display at times. Wild shot misfired there by the All-Stars. Davis pushes up and ahead, right to Mantray, who lays it up and lays it in. And more talk being made right to Kane as this lead is ballooned up to 14. The All-Stars have any answers. Ford skips to Thomas. Thomas now Harris. Harris goes right at the teeth of the defense, fouled and one. Old-fashioned three-point play opportunity for Saquon Harris. And they needed that in the most desperate of ways.
Exactly. That was critical because they just go down 14, and it could have gotten ugly from there. But with 5:19 left, if you hit this free throw, you're down 11. You still have at least a reasonable shot if you catch fire from outside.
Harris converts the old-fashioned three-point play. Leads down to 11. Will the Playmakers close the door, or do the All-Stars have a little bit of a run in them? Murphy blows by his defender, goes to the rim, puts it up there, he's fouled. 2 shots upcoming.
There was contact the whole way on that drive. They called it on the shot. They could have called it a lot earlier, but yeah, he looks like an athlete that can get where he wants to on the court.
And I'm sure if you're Murphy and the Playmakers, at the very least with that specific possession, you're happy that the whistle didn't come until
sure. Oh yeah.
until the shot was finally taken.
It's funny because there's so much focus in the NBA now on hand checking and the fact that you can't do that anymore. It looks physical on the perimeter here in almost certainly if you get up close to an NBA game, there is physicality on the perimeter, but it looks really physical here on the perimeter.
Both free throws made there. The lead back up to 13.
Bank shot.
Canned in there by Amari Thomas from downtown. Leads down to 10. So if you're the Juice All-Stars right now, it's just a matter of getting some stops. And that might lead to one. Off his foot, up ahead. They throw it right to Kane, who gathers, but he tried to rust a shot and recover on a broken play from the start. Another good defensive effort there, this time by Thomas. Thomas came back in and out and touched the basketball. They'll say play on. Thomas gives Harris 3.
Big shot.
You can say that again. Saquon Harris from downtown. It's a 7-point game. See how the Playmakers respond. Scales to Murphy. 4:20 to go.
Atlanta slowing it down just a bit now.
Being a tad more deliberate. Mandre to the rim, misfired. Loose ball falls into the hands of Lewis, and he'll reset to Murphy. Murphy bounces. Mandre. Now they'll reset one more time. Davis.
Smart.
20 on the shot clock. They leave a man open. It's Scale. That's an air ball. Dodge a bullet there. Thomas goes right by his defender and gets it to go on the layup. Down to 5. Little 7-0 run here by the All-Stars. Playmakers looking to answer.
Georgia's coach letting them play out here.
Murphy around a screen. Sees some daylight, leaves it for Lewis. 13 to shoot. Now Braylon Mantre. Over to Harris. Harris now Lewis. Lewis with 6. Lewis with 5. Lewis kicks it. Davis chucks it up there, misfired, out of bounds. Back to the All-Stars. So you mentioned it, Bo. The Playmakers coaching staff letting their kids play and figure it out. I tell you, though, if it's me, if there's another bucket scored here, next time down, it's timeout.
I worry about shot selection at this point, honestly. Look at the
left
defensive
side
awareness.
triple. That one not good. Same team fighting for the board. It's corralled by Kane. Kane hesitates, feeds inside, one power dribble, pump fake, and a bucket.
One possession now. One possession ball game, Jimmy.
Cut it all the way down to 3 points. Murphy trying to end that. Goes all the way to the rim off the window with some contact. Man, that's a big-time shot. Thomas leaves it, and no one's there. It's just Murphy. It's a 2-on-1. Murphy around the teeth of the defense. He's fouled, they'll say. And Murphy will go to the line for 2 free shots. Now, what a turn of events there. And another technical foul has been issued. This one, if it's on Thomas, or excuse me, if it's on Harris or Thomas, any member of the Juice All-Stars, this could be momentum killing. And it is. Technical foul called on the Juice All-Stars, and there's still time, but it makes things dire with Murphy at the line.
Harris was upset, obviously, about the foul call. He thought he had established good position, and he thought that the ref was a long way away to make that call. And now look what happens.
And Murphy misses both free throws on the technical.
You're hearing Rasheed Wallace's voice in your ears right now. Ball
Ball
don't lie.
Indeed. Indeed. Few truer words never spoken. Gets that free throw to fall, though. So we'll have one more. This one from the actual foul in the act. And tell you something, to see him go 2 of 4, even though he calmly hit the next 2 after missing the first 2. Very fortunate of the Juice All-Stars, but they need stops, need them quickly now after the end result from that foul and the technicals. Knife into the rim. I'll say last off of Juice All-Stars.
Well, you see when it gets really down to crunch time what Atlanta turns to. That's 3 straight drives from Murphy. He's going hard to his right, and he's going to attack the basket. Now he's come out.
Interesting. Ooh, they had to go deep in the backcourt, walking the tightrope of the timeline there with Scales. Davis there to Lewis. Lewis with 9. Lewis at the far right. Lewis with 4. Lewis with 3. Lewis to the rim, sent back by Kane. And shot clock's gonna have to be altered to put 1 second back on the shot clock.
So it's interesting what happened there. The coach took Murphy out, had a few words with him. It looked like it was difficult for Atlanta to get a shot without Murphy in the lineup. Now he's suddenly back in.
That conversation was like, lecture, oh, wait, we need a bucket. Come back.
Exactly.
Bring it back in real quick.
Don't do that again. Now get back out there.
Now, will they go to him with 1 second to shoot? Nope, they'll feed Davis. Catch and shoot 3 off the top of the backboard. Out of bounds. Shot clock will reset. It'll be All-Stars basketball. Down 7. Now they need some points. Ford around a screen. Had Towns on the roll. Instead, he'll take it himself all the way. Towns putback is true. And a timeout taken by the All-Stars. The big fella putting his fingerprints all over that board and getting the tip in.
I heard you call that a bear claw earlier, and that really he's sort of, at some level of the game, reminds me of a guy that played a few years ago named DeJuan Blair, where he can really clear out and establish position. He has a bit more of a perimeter game, and he's obviously not as tall as DeJuan Blair was. But, boy, he can clear out and just a soft touch when he gets at the rim.
There's a graceful nature there for Towns. So he's able to make this a 5-point game as we have a timeout taken by the Juice All-Stars after their made bucket, trying to get things a little bit more organized. So out of the timeout, well, full court pressure being applied by the All-Stars. See if it leads to a turnover. It does. Right there, right place, right time was Thomas, but he turned it right back over to Murphy, who threw it down with 2 hands. Back to 7 just like that, and a pocket pick from behind. It falls right into the breadbasket of Thompson, who feeds Thomas in the corner for 3. And another timeout taken by the Juice All-Stars. They've cut it to 4.
And it could have been closer. They turned it over, and Murphy had that opportunity with a dunk. They could have cut it to 3, maybe 2. But nonetheless, it's quick. It's back and forth right now. And were it not for Murphy, Atlanta would be in real trouble.
Yeah, and it's interesting because at the start it looked like an all-around dominant performance by the Playmakers, but you can tell that it runs through Murphy. At least today, anyway. In this moment in time, it's running through Caleb Murphy.
I think they have a lot of talent out there, but you're right. Like if you see possession after possession down the stretch, that's sort of who they turn to.
During this stoppage, a conversation between the officials and both coaches. I would assume maybe on timeouts left or on the situation with the clock. Either way, more pressure being applied by the All-Stars. They try to force another turnover. Lewis Into Mantray. Takes a power dribble when he lost it. Scooping it up is Thomas. Thomas, a 1-on-3. Thomas all the way. Got the layup to fall. Lead down to 2. And almost another steal. A precarious pass. Now it's lobbed in the corner to Afei. He gives it to Mantray, who took a big man drive and put it in. Lead back to 4 with 90 seconds to go. Shot up left just short. A quick shot in the possession by the Playmakers. On the other end, great contest, but a second effort. Nobody followed the impressive effort there by Ford. And the lead's back to 6, under a minute to go. Ford feeds and caught the defense napping, able to get it behind the defense to Thompson. Lead down to 4. 45 seconds to go. What's happened?
So if you watch closely, what happened there was a player for Juice tapped the ball as it was about to be inbounded. Atlanta didn't know whether that was an inbound or not. They started to go with the ball. The coach for Juice sort of intervened, and again, the lobbying firm paid off.
It did for an extent, though, as we take our final timeout here, this time by the Playmakers. It's got him a warning from the officials. Already 2 technicals dished out to the team. And it's also Playmakers basketball still. So the lobbying will only get you so much this far south of the Capitol.
He was right and he was wrong. His player tapped the ball away when it hadn't been inbounded. That's what caused the whole thing. But that doesn't mean that Atlanta can start bringing it up. That's where the challenge was. So they corrected the time, it appears, added a few seconds back after that bit of confusion. So 50 seconds left, a 4-point difference in the game.
So that's all that will remain on the clock. The Playmakers break the press. That 4-point lead in hand. Give and go action. It's a turnover and a late foul by the trailing official. I'll tell you this much. Objectively speaking, there are few things more maddening when you're trying to get a turnover for a late whistle from a baseline official.
As an uninterested party, it's interesting to watch the reactions over on the Juice bench. The coaches are they're sort of beyond contesting it now. They're like if you saw Golden State the other night against Minnesota, they're at the point where they're just laughing a bit now.
Yep. Let's see what Braylon Mantray does with these free throws. 6.4 seconds separate shot and game clock. 36.4 to go. Pool play action.
And you know, in defense, I think if you had a chance to watch that replay, the call was late, but I think the call was right too.
More than likely. More than likely. Lead push to 5. One more upcoming. That one's good as well. It's now 6. All-Stars got to hurry. Thompson blows by to the rim. Got it to go. He's made a couple tough shots down the stretch. It's back down to 4. Shot clock turned off. Heavy trap being applied. They lob it over and get it right back to Davis.
Don't need a shot.
Yeah, the Playmakers know that. And the Juice All-Stars waiting, letting desperate time come off the clock before fouling. I mean, I get wanting to go for the trap. I get wanting to get the turnover, but after the second one of those at most.
Jimmy, it's a 2-possession game now, not a 1-possession game. So the clock becomes your enemy. And the Playmakers wisely knew that, and Murphy goes to the line and knocks down the first free
That's
throw.
the other thing. You get Caleb Murphy at the charity stripe.
Sure.
You don't get your choice to try to pick who to foul. That's a 6-point game. 7 seconds to go. Right side, triple by Thomas. Off the mark. Rebound controlled by the Playmakers. Will they put an exclamation point on it? Scales, he'll pull. Miss it wide. Coaching staff said no. Did not want a highlight dunk to close things. For the final After that one, the Playmakers 74, the Juice All-Stars 68. The Playmakers trailed 35-28 at half. They then outscore in that second half the All-Stars 46-33 to get another win in pool play action. Stay with us. You're watching the Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back inside Riverview Park Activity Center for the start of our final game of pool play here at court number 1. Jimmy Cook alongside Bo Esty. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Saturday with us. Aggressive drive and pump fake there by ATL Hoops in the white jerseys. That was that was Jelani James on the pump fake and finish.
You mentioned the geography, Jimmy, just a bit before. We're right across the river from Georgia, so this is the third straight team we're seeing from Georgia Stars. This is an Atlanta team. We saw an Atlanta team the game before this, and just an absolute load of talent coming out of the Atlanta and frankly, the Georgia area for that matter.
It's definitely fun to see the local area talent on display, not just on one squad, but on multiple travel teams when you get regionally to an event like this. Long triple left side.
Yeah, just to give people an idea, we're about 2.5 hours from Atlanta, so these teams don't have a tremendous amount of travel involved in getting here. And you're a little bit deeper into some of the teams here, and it's interesting, like you said, to see as you get into the depth of that talent.
Roland works the crossover for ATL Hoops. Dumped it inside. They'll say it was not tipped. Last off of Roland, back to New Orleans Elite.
We've had a shift change among one of the referees here.
Important to get substitutes in at every role in a travel team event. Blocking foul called on Jared Ivey as Jamon Vincent went to the rim and he'll head to the line for 2 free ones. The 6'3" forward out of the 2021 class. Got a friendly rim. First time we've seen one of those on the front end.
Maybe it's an omen. Maybe we're going to get some free throws.
Maybe this is where the tide turns. Let's see, a lot of pressure on Jamon Vincent. He delivers for us. How about that?
Yeah, he's a guy with another one of the guys we've seen that has really nice shot form.
Good rhythm approach there at the free throw line. Roland over to James. Triple out front, off the mark. Rebound controlled and taken by New Orleans Elite. Williams up ahead, the baseline. Jumper is no good. Here comes Gordon. Gordon and James tried to tomahawk it down. Too much on it, though. Kicked right back out, though, for a 3 at the top by Roland. Then another force of the issue by Jared Ivey. Blocking foul's called, though, so he'll earn a trip to the charity stripe.
I think we all had to catch our breath after that dunk attempt. Early in the possession, it rebounded out to half court, then an offensive rebound out to the free throw line as they worked their way closer in and got that foul.
There's a conference between the two officials. Apparently they're going to switch the call and say it was an offensive foul. Give possession over to New Orleans Elite. Jaden Williams will walk it up the floor. Now hand to Jordan Farcell. It's a turnover, lob ahead to Roland. Misfired, put back no. They'll say basket interference. It might even be an over the back. Let's see. It will be an over the back.
Second straight possession with an offensive foul down low.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. Early stages here of this one. ATL Hoops 4. New Orleans Elite 2. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back inside Riverview Park Activity Center. Early stages first half between New Orleans Elite and ATL Hoops in pool play action as a right side triple attempted there by Jamon Vincent off the mark. Loose ball gathered by ATL Hoops. Rolling. Works the crossover out front, kicks, James three, good. Rattled it in, Jelani James from downtown. It's a 7-2 lead.
He had a good-looking stroke on a miss earlier going to his left. He had his feet set that time and absolutely drilled it.
Williams, feet inside. It's on the deck. They'll flip over to Vincent. Vincent, now Williams, top of the arc. Too strong. The board for Hosey. Hosey to zone, down the lane. Now on the other fast break attempt, that's returned to sender by Sheldon Arnold. Lob attempt and a finish with a layup. James did not get enough of a head start on that to catch and slam, so instead he wisely just lays it up off the oop.
Yeah, and Atlanta's pitching out to a 9-2 lead early on, cut to 9-4. Tough shot there, getting up and over the defender.
Impressive right hand kiss off the glass there by Jordan Farrell. James all alone for three. Too strong. Rebound. It was saved right to Hosey. He's met at the rim and fouled. So I've never seen that before. Trying to save that was Trent Gordon, and it looked like he was going to try to, throw the basketball right off the opposing player, but instead where he threw it, it turned into a bounce feed right to a wide open Paul Hosey, who then was collapsed on late by defensive help, drew contact, and now he's to the line.
Yeah, it was wide open. It was perfectly delivered. I'm sure it was all intentional.
Everything planned there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But I tell you what, an Atlanta team, again, they run back and forth and back and forth. But I like the defense they're playing as well, at least early on. A lot of times you'll see it loosen up as the game goes along and at least figure out how to attack different teams. But early on, Atlanta's defense is hanging strong and creating tough opportunities for New Orleans.
Jumps the passing lane, did Tops. He's got a man with him. It's Hosey. Lobbed in deep to him. He takes a second to gather. Misfired. Second chance, no. Loose ball corralled by Hosey again. Third chance and one. Paul Hosey staying with it. And a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
I got to give some credit, though, to Lorenzo Yates for New Orleans getting back on that one because it was a first opportunity that was a missed. He was there for the second opportunity. He absolutely swatted that shot and forced Atlanta to go to the line now on their third opportunity to collect some points.
They do just that. Bump the lead up to 10, large to the ball game. Pass inside, quick shot there by Mendez. Zones, works the crossover, look away pass. Hosey turns it over. Up the floor comes New Orleans Elite. Set back, but a follow is true by Mendez.
Again, another example of where I want to credit the defender. James was really up there on the initial drive.
Driving the lane and a dish and slam. Credit that bucket to Jared Ivey. Right in the elevator to the top floor for two hands. Zones ahead. Another slam. Magic carpet ride time for Paul Hosey. And a timeout taken by New Orleans Elite. We'll take one as well. 10:26 left to go in this first half. A 10-point advantage for ATL Hoops over New Orleans Elite, 18-8. You're watching the Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back inside Riverview Park Activity Center. New Orleans finds themselves in a 10-point hole with the basketball. Early stages first half of this pool play action of the Icebreaker Invitational. Great defense that time by Hosey. Zones, hesitates, pulls, short. Here comes New Orleans, up ahead. Miles Mendez could not get it to go. Great defensive effort there, but another turnover. Right to Mendez, another chance that he slams it home with two hands for good measure.
Yeah, he took a lot of contact on his initial drive and was collecting himself down there, and it sort of paid off.
First bucket for New Orleans in about 3 minutes. Another teardrop floater that time by Tops. Lead back to 10. Top of the key, jumper in and out for Farrell. They'll get it back to him though. He'll kick. Gilliott, 3. Too strong. Farrell's the first one to it. Hesitates, walked. Took a couple too many slide steps there and turns it right back over to ATL Hoops. There are still such a thing as travels nowadays.
I like the move Tops had on the other end a minute ago. You need, from your point guards these days, to have that in-between runner game, and he's already showing that he has that as he drives to the basket again, now pulling up for a 3.
Shots off the mark. Last touch by ATL Hoops. Gilliott. Over to Vincent. Heavily pressured by Zones. Gets to the rim, adjusts, left it short. Second chance, power dribble, falling away. No. And a hard fall there for Hosey. He had to put all his momentum on his shoulder because he couldn't break his fall as he had possession of the basketball. He appears to be okay. They'll call a loose ball foul on New Orleans. And it'll send possession to ATL Hoops.
They're up by 10, 8:40 left in the first half, and, you know, that was Lorenzo Yates knocking him down there. Lorenzo Yates, the guy who hurried back earlier and showed a lot of hustle. He's a physical player down low. I mean, he's just a big guy, and that was a lot of contact.
Kick, 3. Off the mark for Arnold. Second chance, put back, though, is true by Paul Hosey. Gilliott hesitates, puts his head down through traffic. No basket. The official did one of those where he held it like you're thinking we're going to have a continuation all of a sudden, and then
called it on the floor.
Yeah. Plot twist.
In the other league I deal with, that's a three-point play.
There's a jump shot for Jamin Vincent. Almost a turnover it is. They saved it, did New Orleans Elite. Gilliott has it, up ahead. Farrell to the rim, blue layup.
New Orleans is missing a lot of layups.
A lot of point-blank
points.
Shots. Tops kicks it to nobody, but they'll say it was not tipped. It'll go back to New Orleans Elite. Miscommunication there offensively for ATL Hoops. They hold this 10-point advantage in between all the turnovers. The two teams have exchanged buckets a couple times. Bow kicking is still a thing, right? I've seen many
like
times
traveling
at the AAU level. You just don't. It's not as. Is it in that same view now with traveling where it only happens when it's really obvious?
You talked about the modern game earlier. I do think kicking's still a thing, as traveling typically is as well.
20 to shoot. Vincent down the lane and 1.
Boy, that was terrific handle out top.
Make that Jordan Farrell on the take from the feed from Vincent.
Yeah, breaking down the defense that way. He had passing opportunities as well. He took that shot, and it paid off for him. But you wonder as the game progresses if he's going to see his teammates if the defense continues to collapse on him like that.
Only time will tell. Free throw is good. Lead down to 7. Just under 7.5 to go in this first half. Tops tried an inside-out dribble, almost had his pocket picked. Bodies on the deck, and it's going to go to New Orleans Elite. Up the floor, Gilliott sees daylight. It's sent back by 2 defenders. He'll stay on this end. Wow.
Take your pick who you want to credit that shot block to. I think it was Arnold, but that was two guys
You
up
give
there.
it to Arnold or Tops, one of the two. Either way, it's a fresh 30 for New Orleans. Stopping, popping, and hitting. Jordan Farrell.
He's got a lot of game. He's got a lot of game and, you know, good size for a point guard. Physical body. Strong player.
And the lead suddenly down to 3. What an inside-out cross. 3, and he was fouled. Late close there by Miles Mendez. My goodness. So you look at Cameron Rowland there.
The gym about collapsed on him if he made that shot. I mean, he shook his defender down to the ground, took a 3, got fouled. If that fell, you would have heard something.
Absolutely. See if he can hit all 3 free throws. Sub at the table. 2 of 2 so far is Rowland. He'll have one more foul shot to push this lead back to 6 potentially. And he does. Rattles it in. Gilliott up ahead. Farrell again a triple. Left side. Jordan Farrell, 2 straight threes. Back within 3.
He's got a little bit of Damian Lillard in his game.
Rolling the answer. Oh my, I thought he left it short, but he got the friendly roll. Back to 6. Will there be an answer? He's thinking about it. He'll pull. Bang, bang. Answer response triple by Jordan Farrell. Fielded from beyond the arc.
But Jordan Farrell is a player to watch.
Loose ball foul called on New Orleans Elite's Glenn Roan. Trying to create a turnover with some solo full court press.
They sense the momentum now, Jimmy. They sense they're getting close and they can push into this team.
Let's see if they're able to without fouling. Rowland being heavily hand-checked. They let him play, and wild layup misfired, rebound corralled and saved, but it's taken away by New Orleans Elite. They will. They have a 3-on-1. Hustling back all the way was Green. He altered the shot and fouled him. Brandon Green, you saw him sprinting right in front of us all the way to the bucket to make a play on that. He took away the easy 2 and instead going to make New Orleans Elite's Miles Mendez earn it at the charity stripe.
Yeah, Miles Mendez thought he had an open dunk there. And that, you know, you credit Green for getting back in a hurry. And it looked close to pretty clean, frankly.
Mendez left one more to bring them within 1. He splits the pair. It's a 2-point game. ATL Hoops with that advantage and the basketball. Around a screen, Rico Hallman leaves it. Baseline drive by Arnold. He was fouled. The 6th team foul.
Jimmy, of the teams that we've seen
Nope.
today on Always Live, these seem to be the most evenly matched.
I would agree. Before we expand on that, a correction late on the scorers table. 7-team foul, so 1-on-1 opportunity for ATL. No, I would agree. In terms of a back-and-forth affair, and we did have an evenly matched matchup earlier today, and then as well last night. But in terms of high-quality basketball and them being evenly matched,
Yeah.
this is by far that matchup. Arnold will have one more. Able to knock in all of them. Lead is 4. Gilliott trying to cross the timeline. Feeds. Around a screen, a little hop step, hanging, and scoring. Man, I tell you what, Jordan Farrell's really come on here in the back half of this first half. Leads down to 2. Rolling from the parking lot. Misfired on that one. Forward to Vincent. Vincent trying to work through a double team. He lost it. Here comes ATL Hoops. Rolling, puts his head down. Bounce pass inside. A lot of contact. And
Lord.
Like New Orleans leads one of their own players. Volleyball spiked it off the head of another player. As the dust clears, it's simply a foul on New Orleans Elite. And Paul Hosey will go to the line for 2 shots.
So they've trimmed the lead down to 2 at this point. Atlanta Elite had it up to at least 10.
And they've done this now twice now in the last 3.5 minutes where they've got it down to 2 and then have committed a foul that sends them right back to the charity stripe to extend the lead back.
So Jordan Farrell's hot now. We'll see, if he has a heat check here in a minute. It looks like he is down here on the right side. If he has a heat check, or I'd be interested to see how he does creating for his teammates. As a prospect, that would be interesting to me.
Let's see if they try to go to him. Instead they go to Mendez. He kicks it left side. Gilliott 3 over everything. Inside of the backboard. Here comes ATL Hoops. Down the lane. Hall misfired, and let's try to run. Behind the back goes Gilliott. And tip pass stolen by ATL Hoops. They'll force it ahead. James laid it up and in.
What a wonderful athlete he is. Jelani James really has ability.
Skip pass. Quick feed inside. Turning, hanging, and scoring. Tough shot off glass there by Jamin Vincent.
Paul Hosey now, this would be the 4th straight possession. He didn't make it to half court the past 3 possessions. He's been injured, and he was trying to play a little defense there on the other end. They're finally getting him out of the game.
Yep, good idea, good call there, Bo, as Hosey takes a seat. Trent Gordon comes in for the first time this afternoon. ATL Hoops with the basketball and a 4-point advantage. Zones. Far right side. Faked like he wanted a screen. Instead takes it himself and off the foot of Zones. Great defense there by New Orleans Elite. Vincent working with a purpose. He was met at the rim. Sent back that time by Gordon. They feed it inside once more. Vincent, mid-range, good.
We could spend all day here. We could spend all week here. We're not going to see a better block than we just saw from Trent Gordon.
Man, meet me at the rim. Rolling, went to one knee there, almost had it taken away. Goes up and under, wild shot, and it's going to be stolen by ATL Hoops. As blatant a reach as I've ever seen. It leads to a turnover and an ATL Hoops bucket. Wow. My good, I need to take in what just happened there. Mid-range shot misfired by Mendez. This has turned into a track meet.
No.
Volleyball line triple. Too much. Layup is good by ATL Hoops. Bo, it's hard to see with the officials choosing their vantage point directly in front of our broadcast table of all the places to select on the court as Jamon Vincent hits that long-range triple. But there have been 2 straight possessions where New Orleans Elite have had a clear rebound only for it to be yanked away with fearless aggression and no foul be called. Wild second and third chance opportunities, and what's the call? Finally a loose ball foul, this time on ATL Hoops. It'll go against Jelani James.
The game has lost its structure a little bit.
It's lost. All the marbles have been lost at this point. As the dust clears, the 3-point deficit. New Orleans Elite can tie or cut it to 1. Vincent working, trying to lull the defender to sleep, gives to Gilliott. Now there's their man in Jordan Farrell. He'll tee up a triple. That one just off. One-handed board there by Gilliott. Or make that James, I should say. Hallman. 1:50 to go in this first half. Over to Rowland. Rowland heavily pressured. Hands off to James. James, 15 to shoot. James, jab step. Puts his head down. Sent back. Rejected by New Orleans Elite. And now it's a lob ahead. What a pass. What a finish. A one-handed slam. That time by Jordan Farrell. And a timeout taken by ATL Hoops. No, excuse me, just a sub at the table. As their lead has been cut all the way down to 1.
So Jordan Farrell's shown you his 3-point.
He's
shown you this. He's shown you he's got a finger roll, and he just showed you he can fly above the rim.
Exactly. Full arsenal on display. Elite jumps the passing lane, straight up defense, and the rebound controlled and taken by Brandon Green. They're letting them play down there.
I think he snuck it under his armpit that time. I don't know how, either that or just through his body.
That was wild. Gilly will tee it up, wide left. Catch and shoot for the tie. Yeah. Wide of the mark.
Yeah. That's in the rough on the fairways over across the river from here.
Unplayable.
Yeah. Okay, so a little half-court offense here.
Roland dishes, Hallman, three, short. Rebound, slapped together by Roan. Behind the back, Mendez, did he lose it off himself? No, he didn't. Last touch by ATL Hoops.
So somehow the shot clock reset on that.
And the funny thing is ATL Hoops is more upset about it should be off his leg than, oh, wait, they put 30 back on the shot clock. We'll play on. A lot of contact again. Somehow scooping it up is Vincent. No, they'll say foul. In the act.
Okay, it's 29.8 seconds left in the half. Do you see ATL Hoops holding for one if they get the rebound or a couple of free throws are made here? Can it happen?
Yes, but only because they just called the bucket and one. Keep in mind, Jamon Vincent missed that shot.
This would be a first.
Now it's two shots.
Okay.
Man. Is it bad for Havoc? Part of me was rooting for that to happen.
Just because you'd never seen it before, right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, man. Okay, so Rowan will go to the line. One more upcoming to make this a one-point game. Now, here's my thing. Yes, because you have a one-point lead. Why risk it? I think your coaching staff is frustrated enough that they're going to want you to hold for one or your best look.
Well, if I'm honest, these two teams don't seem so risk-averse so far. They seem comfortable with risk.
Fair point, but that was the slowest walk-up we've seen to this point by ATL Hoops.
Evidence on both sides of the case here so far.
On a conversation between official and coaches.
I think part of what this is there was a lot of conversation about the last call and maybe just settling things down a little bit as we go forward.
So Rowan will walk it up with 17 and a one-point lead in hand. I use walk it up loosely as there's a nice drive to the rim. 10 seconds to go in the half. It's good there by Zones. Farrell will walk it up with 6. Farrell with 5. Farrell kicks. Farrell over to Roland. Roland at the rim. Put back at the buzzer is good. Credit that one for Glenn Roan. And we got a one-point game at halftime. 42-41. ATL Hoops leads New Orleans Elite. Stay with us. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Welcome back to Riverview Park Activity Center in lovely North Augusta, South Carolina. Jimmy Cook Boestes here on Always Live. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your Saturday with us. Second half getting underway in pool play action between ATL Hoops and New Orleans Elite. ATL Hoops with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Correction in real time and make that a 4-point advantage off the triple there by Cameron Rowland.
For those fans just checking in, ATL Hoops had a 10-point lead in the first half, and New Orleans Elite stormed back, but never quite took the lead, Jimmy. So trying to come back and grasp the lead, I guess that's their next step if they're trying to get this W.
Yeah, they flirted with it at times, but each little 1 step forward, 2 steps back on the offensive end by ATL Hoops, continuing to push the issue and maintain this advantage. Quick bounce feed inside, layup miss. Second chance is true by Miles Mendez. Scratch that, get the bucket to Glenn Roan. Gordon to James for 3. Off the mark. Rebound Ivy. Nope. Put back James. Yes. Jelani James staying with it.
So New Orleans starting the second half without Jordan Farrell out there. He was their scoring anchor in the first half, so we'll see if he gets back into the mix soon enough. But they are close at this point, close enough, and staying in contact with ATL.
That's really all you need to do, but turnovers won't help you. Lob, great defensive recovery there by Jamon Vincent to stay in the play, and he actually knocked it off of ATL Hoops. Wow. Never give up on the play.
By design.
Yep. Never give up on the play there. Bends it around a screen.
I like the play of Jelani James there. His defensive pressure on the perimeter forced New Orleans into a bad decision. And Jelani James is a big guy. He's 6'6". He's got a shot. He's got athleticism. He's got a lot of the tools that he's going to need going forward. He's a 2019 forward, so this is his year.
Be interesting to see where he ends up. Gordon almost turned it over. Stepped on the sideline. Did Rowland. Oh, wow. Offensive foul.
Yeah, that looked like he gathered to commit the offensive foul on that one.
It was like a truck stick or trying to just.
If they were shooting a video, a referee instructional on what a charge is, he just demonstrated it wonderfully.
Yep. So don't have to pay a talent fee next time.
Exactly.
James, feed inside, a slam. Jared Ivey rode the elevator to the top floor and threw it down.
I've been waiting for that. There's been a lot of high screen and rolls in this game, but they haven't hit the roller a lot, and they really did take advantage there.
Vincent, baseline, set back. Follow is true, though, by Lorenzo Yates. Stayed with it. Lead down to 4. Hallman, James. Now Rowland inside. Ivy again! And a flex on him for good measure. 2 dunks in a row for the 6'6" wing. And the lead's back to 6. Good find. Vincent, catch and shoot 3. Off the mark. Tracked down, though, by Farrell. He's been quiet so far in this second half. Action inside, no. Third chance, no. Rebound Ivy. Frenetically, here comes Hallman. Up the way, kick, corner, 3 in the air. 3 off the mark. Rebound secured. Initially, it looked like it'd be secured by New Orleans Elite, but instead, they really let them play until a dive tackle made.
I'll be honest, that felt like a foul to me.
Yeah, you could feel it from here.
I used felt in the very literal sense.
Yep. On the other end, blocking foul and 1. Jamon Vincent, fearless take. Can convert it to an old-fashioned 3-point play at the line, much to the dismay of the ATL Hoops fan base in attendance.
Yeah, Jordan Farrell, he's a guy we mentioned in the start of this second half. He wasn't on the court. They got him out there in a hurry.
Farrell knocks that one in. Converts the old-fashioned three-point play. Hallman forces it, and a tough fall there for Trent Gordon. He's going to be called with traveling. He jumped up to get it and lost his footing. All the way to the rim quickly. Put back, no. First to it is going to be Paul Hosey. He was fouled by Glenn Roan. Give possession to ATL Hoops. Subs to the table.
The ATL Hoops team was listening to their coach complain about the previous call. Jordan Farrell saw that taking place, raced down the court, got it up off the boards, missed the layup.
Opportunistic basketball.
Absolutely.
Lead is 3 for ATL Hoops with the ball. Top, sent back, and a finish by Gordon. My goodness. There's a talk of whether or not the shot hit rim, but the point should count.
It appeared on the rebound dunk that he pulled it onto his head, and that looked like what the because the ball didn't come through cleanly.
Well, either way, business has picked up here in North Augusta. Farrell throws in the backcourt to Vincent, who will walk it up. Jamon Vincent hesitates, kicks left side. Gilead thought about a three. Back to Vincent. Got Farrell on his right side. He won't give it to him. Takes it all the way high off the window. No. Rebound last tapped by New Orleans Elite.
ATL Hoops has run a lot of high screen and roll stuff. Their last set, though, was more of a horn set. They don't go back to it, but they got that penetration off that.
James left the three short. Here comes Vincent. Vincent stops, pops, in and out. Feed inside, layup true there by Paul Hosey. Man, with a defender raped around him.
You remember he went out of the game in the first half with an injury. Good to see him coming back, and that was a strong, strong move because there was a lot of pressure.
Behind the back, Tops. He also had a defender draped around him there. But instead of losing the basketball out of bounds, we go back to New Orleans.
Farrell had been real hot for New Orleans, Jordan Farrell, in the first half, and he looks to have cooled down a bit in half number 2. So where will New Orleans get their offense from? Remember, they're down 7. They were down by as many as 10 in the first half, and they closed in at halftime.
Timeout taken by New Orleans Elite. We'll take one as well. 10:20 to go in this ball game. 55-48 the score. ATL Hoops on top of New Orleans Elite. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. Back inside Riverview Park Activity Center. 10:17 left to play in this ball game. New Orleans Elite down by 7 with the basketball. Right side, triple in the air, left short. Rebound fought for, falls into the breadbasket of Jelani James, and here comes ATL Hoops. Hallman pulls, long triple left it short. Rebound again, this time gathered by New Orleans Elite, but then saved by ATL Hoops. James right at the teeth of the defense. They let him play on. Loose ball on the deck, controlled by Mendez. Up ahead, layup is good by Jordan Farrell. Leads down to 5, 55-50. Corner triple, no good. Rebound controlled by New Orleans Elite. They'll look to push. Up ahead to Farrell. Farrell stops, pops, mid-range, too strong, and mistimed the jump initially to New Orleans Elite, but they'll capture the rebound. Flashing in is Mendez. He's fouled. 2 shots upcoming. A track meet-like pace there for both these teams on the offensive end. It'll send Miles Mendez to the charity stripe for 2 free ones to try to make this a 1-possession game. Remember, pool play action taking place right now. First free throw is good. All across the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational event. Troy thereafter later this afternoon. Tournament play. Shots left short. Sheldon Arnold controls. Arnold, lazy pass. It's turned over. Good move there by Mendez, and it's not over and back. Farrell goes into the rim, misfired it. Shot tipped up. They kick to Farrell. Farrell through the lane. He's fouled. Jordan Farrell carrying a lot of the scoring load here for New Orleans Elite. They won't say that's in the act, though. They'll say instead it's just a simple foul on the floor, but it leads to a wide-open triple for Taj Gilliott. They're back within 1. Under 9 to go. Tops, walks it up the floor. Feeds high post to Ivy. Ivy lost the handle. New Orleans Elite to take their first lead of the game. All the way to the rim. Sent back, rejected by Jared Ivy. Good recovery for him. Subs at the table. Jamon Vincent checks in for, Cameron Rowland checks in for Trent Gordon. And there's your layup for the first lead of the game for New Orleans Elite. They lead by 1. Rowland. They skip to James. 3 is short. Almost an N1 opportunity. James the line. Short. Puts the pair. All knotted up at 56. Gilliott to Vincent. Vincent bounced it, somehow gets to Farrell. Farrell will go baseline. He was fouled. 6th team foul on ATL Hoops, and he fouls the rest of the way. Free throws for New Orleans Elite. Feed inside, adjusting, and there's a foul. So free throws upcoming for New Orleans Elite. Banked in the free throw. One more for Yates. That one off the mark. 1 point advantage for New Orleans Elite. Rolling around a screen, dribble, step back, spins, turns, hangs, off the window, no, put back, no, falls right to Roland, takes a dribble, bounces up top, James, three is good with a defender draped around him. 2 point advantage for the Hoops. Three to answer, misfired, rebound Green, up ahead to Tops. Tops right side, 7:10 to play. James calling again, hesitates, pulls up, top of the key, two, short. Rebound Green, left side triple, bottom of the net. Cameron Rowland with the knockdown. Lead to 5. Other end, slam opportunity would not go down for New Orleans Elite. Top of the key, that shot misfired by Tops. Aggressive take by Vincent. He's fouled, head the line for 2. First free throw good. One more for Rowland. Trying to make it a one-possession game. And he does. Nice stroke on both those free throws. Tops will walk it up the floor for ATL Hoops with that 3-point lead in hand. 6.5 to go. Tops to Zones. Zones, step back, top of the key. Good. What a pretty move there by Rod Zones. Lead up to 5. Gilliott around a screen. Now Farrell. Farrell showing the handles. Nice crossover. Puts his head down. Goes to the rim. Lays it up and in. What an adjustment from right to left. Lead down to 3. Rolling now Tops. Left side. Goes behind his back with it. It's stolen away. Hurrying back on defense is ATL Hoops to the rim. Farrell and one. Jordan Farrell with a pretty finger roll off the glass. And he could tie things up with an old-fashioned 3-point play. Sub at the table for ATL Hoops. Hallman checks in. Brandon Green checks out. Also there, Paul Hosey set to check back in. And Demarion Tops checks out. One free throw for Farrell. Too strong. Board tips right to Farrell. Farrell lays it up and the lead. What a play on the tip back there by Miles Mendez. Falls right to Farrell off the missed free throw, and they lead by 1. And then a foul on a 3-point attempt committed there by Vincent, as it'll send Rico Hallman to the charity stripe to try to break the tie once again. They'll have 3 cracks at it. Short on the first. Makes the second. We're tied at 65. Goes 2 for 3 and gives the Hoops a 1-point lead with 5:30 to play. Timeout taken by timeout taken on the floor by New Orleans Elite. We'll take one as well. 5:25 to play in this one. ATL Hoops 66, New Orleans Elite 65. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live. .5:25 left to play in this one. 66-65, advantage ATL Hoops. New Orleans Elite trying to regain the lead with the basketball. Vincent down the lane, wild shot off glass, nope. Here comes ATL Hoops, a potential run out. All the way to the rim and scoring as Rod Zones lead back to 3. How will they answer? Bounce in the corner, hesitation, extra pass. Farrell, catch and shoot 3. Just off the mark. They'll kick it on the other side. Farrell calling for it. They'll feed in the corner instead, out of bounds. Last touch by ATL Hoops. You can tell that Farrell's wanting that basketball. Timeout called by ATL Hoops. We'll keep it here, 30-second timeout. 68-65 the score. ATL Hoops with the advantage by 3. Don't forget, coming up a little bit later this evening, pool play ends and elimination play begins. We'll have all the action from court number 1 on the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational elimination rounds right here on Always Live. Out of the timeout, Farrell controls just in front of the timeline. Farrell down the lane, laid it up and in. Cuts it to 1. He has carried the team on his back in this ball game. See what the answer is. Roland in ISO, blew by his defender, kicked it. James, the hot hand, short on the triple, rebound sealed by Bates. Up ahead, Farrell, laser pass, but it's intercepted right by Zones. Now he's got a 3-on-1. Zones forced it in, blocked into the bucket by Yates. The lead on the scoreboard on our end sits at 3. Nice power dribble, layup no, second chance, yes. Cut to 1, 70-69. And a carry called against Roland. First carry that we've seen called on an Always Live broadcast. Here comes Farrell. Farrell, a lot of body contact. Kicks it. Now over far right side. They try to find Farrell again. It's a turnover. Run out. 2-on-1. They leave it ahead. Roland lays it up and in. 3-point game with 3:15 to go. Vincent feeds to Yates. He had his pocket picked. Great defense by James. Nice bounce pass ahead. It's pinned on the backboard by Farrell. He got up there, but it leads to a foul and 1. James staying with the bucket. So a pretty block, but doesn't matter at the end of the day, as James is right there and can put some serious distance between the Hoops and the Elite by converting this old-fashioned three-point play. Met at the rim, rejected by Ivy. Rolling left side, triple, no good. Rebound James. Extra pass, and they'll reset things with 2:45 to go. Adjusting in midair, no kiss off the glass that time. Lead is 5, they gotta hurry. Farrell lost it, wanted it back. Instead, Mendez to the rim, laid it up and in. One possession game, 2.5 to go. Roland, far left side. Hands off to Zones. Zones pulls at the top, off the mark. Here comes Elite. Mendez leaves it for a two-handed flush by Jamon Vincent. They're back within one. What type of answer does ATL Hoops have? Roland stops, pops. No friendly roll. Mendez trying to give New Orleans Elite the lead back. Hands off to Gilliard. Gilliard all the way and one. Taj Gilliard able to contort his body around the defender. Scoop layup, giving New Orleans Elite the lead. That can make it a 2-point advantage with an old-fashioned three-point play. Gilliard too strong on the free throw, so it'll be a 1-point game with 1:35 to play. Final game of pool play for both these teams here in the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational. Zones. Hands to James. James works with 15. Kicks over to Zones. Zones fouled en route to the cup, and that's team foul number 5 on New Orleans Elite. .80 seconds to play in regulation. Roland feeds to Hallman. Triple. Good. 2-point advantage for ATL Hoops. Pressure being applied, and coming up to get it is Gilliard. Gilliard sees some daylight. Almost had his pocket picked. Indeed he did. What a play there by Zones. He lays it up and lays it in. Leads up to 4 just like that. 1 minute to go. Hoops caught him napping. And another pocket pick. This time it's Hallman all the way out of bounds. Last touch by New Orleans Elite. That's kind of been the story of the afternoon. Every time that New Orleans Elite has been on the doorstep or been trying to pull away, it has been one step behind. Lob in deep, catch and finish by Rod Zones. That's a 6-0 run, make that a 7-0 run in a span of about 30 seconds. Vincent leaves it, almost another turnover, still in the set with 38.4 to go. Rowan will be the trigger man, lobs it deep right in front of us. Mendez puts his head down, goes to the rim, sent back, he's fouled. Call personal on James. First free throw good. One more for Mendez to try to make this a 4-point game. Missed it. Rebound cleared by ATL Hoops. Bouncing over to Zones. Zones to James. James to Hallman. Hallman back to James. 3 seconds separate shot and game clock, and New Orleans Elite has to start fouling. They won't. Zones, bounce feed, met at the rim. Was Hosey, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2 free ones to lock up the cooler and put this one on ice. First free throw off the mark. One more upcoming for Hosey. Left them both short, so there's time. They got to hurry. Vincent stops, pops, triples good, and a timeout taken by New Orleans Elite. They've cut it down to 2. We'll stay here. So despite a 6-0 run just a few moments ago by ATL Hoops, New Orleans Elite staying with it. Deficit is 2. They'll have to try to get a steal initially and then foul right away. Hope for a miss by ATL Hoops. Now on the flip side of that, a foul by New Orleans Elite is a 1-and-1 op. So they're not yet in the bonus. No fouls to give, though. James, the trigger man, has to get it in. He does, and they foul immediately. Rico Hallman with 8.7. Hallman, the 6'9" forward from the 2019 class, will head to the line to try to ice things. Hallman rattled it in, hit the first one. Now the big one to make it a 2-possession game and close things out for ATL Hoops. Hallman got them both. Put it in the cooler. Farrell up ahead. Farrell throws up a 3. No good. Put back. No. 2 seconds. 1 second. Dunk will count. But either way, ATL Hoops survives. 83-81 the final over New Orleans Elite. Stay with us. We'll have more after this. You're watching the 2019 Icebreaker Invitational on Always Live.